Well, there's certainly enough evil around us in this world to make us fear, don't you think? However, there are some things that you can do that will help you face the new year without fear. Hey, in today's special episode of Charlie Crimebuster, we're going to talk about how to live in the new year without fear. This and more on this special episode of Charlie Crimebuster. It is what some people are calling the fastest minutes in podcasting.
The views and opinions expressed in this presentation are solely those of the individuals interviewed or participating and do not represent those of city, county, state, or federal law enforcement agencies, nor sponsors and platforms of this presentation. Charlie Crimebuster, charliecrimebuster.com, and peacemakernetwork.com are copyrights owned by Charlie Crimebuster. All individuals described or mentioned in the presentation should be considered innocent until found guilty in a court of law. This presentation contains subject matter such as violence and graphic descriptions which may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to this very special episode of Charlie Crimebuster. We're going to be talking about how to face the new year without fear. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but right now, let me take a moment to welcome you to the program. If you're a new listener or a seasoned listener, we always like to invite you to reach out with a shout-out. You can reach me, charliecrimebuster at gmail.com. That's charliecrimebuster at gmail.com. Love to hear from you. You can ask questions about episodes we've covered. You can make suggestions about episodes you'd like to see us cover. You can even, as we say, lodge objections because it's a safe zone. We don't mind for you to disagree. It is a safe zone. But if you have an opportunity, love to hear from you. Reach out with a shout-out. We love for those who do reach out. Reach out with a shout-out, charliecrimebuster at gmail.com. If you'd like to support us, help support those brave men and women who run toward danger instead of away from danger, then jump right on over to peacemakernetwork.com. Peacemakernetwork.com. You can read about how you can become a badge, BADGE supporter. For just a few dollars a month, you can help those brave folks who run toward danger. You can also help support the program. Take a moment, go to peacemakernetwork.com. And if you'd like to binge, as James Buckland calls binging, with podcasts, then go right on over to charliecrimebuster.com. That's our website. You'll find a whole bunch of episodes from last year into this year that you could just binge to your heart's content. That's charliecrimebuster.com. And don't forget, we have a new YouTube channel. We'd love for you to be a part of that. Subscribe to that if you haven't. Hey, I'm going to make it real easy for you. We're going to put all these links right there in the show notes. So all you have to do is just click and you will presto be there, right? All right, let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're going to talk about how to face a new year without fear. Now, my friend, when we first set up our podcast, Charlie Crimebuster, well, one of the goals that we had was to share crime prevention tips. However, we also really enjoyed bringing you true crime episodes. So we kind of mixed it from time to time. We would add tips within the crime stories. We do love the crime stories. We enjoy investigating those crimes, especially when there's a little mystery there. But at the same time, we feel an obligation to pass on crime tips. So this next year, we're going to probably either piggyback these crime tips on episodes that we're going to be talking about with true crime, or we might just do some special episodes like this one today that will help keep you and your family safe, S-A-F-E. Now, my friend, let me begin by saying there's certainly a lot of reasons to be fearful in the new year. We know in this world in which we live in that evil lurks around many corners. Mass shootings occur many times without advance notice. They happen all over the place. In large schools, in rural schools, in big towns and small towns, in colleges, music festivals like what happened in Las Vegas, there at the Country Music Festival, when all those folks were shot with that mass shooter. There are all kinds of places where this can happen. You could even be attending a political rally, as some people were this past year when President-elect Trump was speaking, and he was shot in the ear, and bystanders, those who were there in the bleachers, well, some of them died, and some of them were seriously wounded. And then we think about what just recently happened as we began this brand new year. Think about what happened in New Orleans. People out there celebrating. 3 o'clock in the morning. Car goes around a police barricade, mows people down. Guy gets out with a long gun and a pistol. So there are plenty of reasons, don't you think, you could have fear in facing this brand new year. Then think about the fact that this past year we were soft on crime in many places. We're now realizing that that is not working. People could go in and shoplift up to $1,000, $999 worth of merchandise, and even if they got caught, they would be able to walk, not even held in jail in many of those instances. Then on top of that, we know that across this country, in many places, the cops' hands are tied. There are certain things that they can't do that they could do before. Recently just watched on Prime a episode on police calls. And this particular episode was them responding to a large crowd that had gathered for drag racing or some kind of car deal. And there was a large crowd there, and the crowd was getting rowdy. And instead of the police going in and handling the crowd, the police were actually ordered to stand down. And that has happened in right situations. It is better just to stand down and let everything happen. Well, as a result of that, people sometimes are injured, people sometimes are hurt, people sometimes are killed, and property is destroyed, and merchandise is stolen. So many times police cannot really do their job because their hands are tied. They're ordered to stand down. Then on top of that, think about police today that are afraid of doing their job. They're afraid of doing their job because in this liberal biased society in many places, they could be prosecuted for doing their job. There are lawsuits. They could be sued for doing their job. Now, that doesn't say that a police officer should get away with anything. If they're doing anything that is against the law, they ought to be prosecuted. But in this day and time, when people realize that police have a split second to make a choice, and sometimes that choice involves life and death situations, they realize that there is a possibility they will be prosecuted. Even if the shooting is righteous today, sometimes those cops are prosecuted by a DA who kind of gives in to public pressure, and you're prosecuted for doing your job. Then on top of that, there is the ISIS deal, right? We know that there are people in this world that want to kill us. That's proven with 9/11. That's proven with lone wolves today, like what happened in New Orleans. This guy that we've already reported on, we've already done episodes on, he had pledged his loyalty to ISIS. He was there under the umbrella of ISIS to kill as many people as he could. So there is a reason to have fear. And then on top of that, just think about the fact that there's random crime out there. I mean, think about this. You went to New Orleans to celebrate the new year. Maybe you were going to the Sugar Bowl. You're walking down the street at 3 a.m. in the morning. Before you have time to react, boom, a pickup truck is barreling down, just hitting people one way and the other, killing people. Just a terrible, terrible, terrible day for those people that were there that time. So there could be reasons to have fear. We know that. But my friend, I want you to know that you don't have to live in fear. There are certain things you can do to protect yourself. There are certain things you can do to help ease that fear that you may or may not be feeling right now. There is a way that you can live in the new year without fear. We're going to share those tips with you. But right now, let's take just a moment and take a big breath. And we always like here at Charlie Crimebuster to share with you what we call a crazy crook story. It just kind of becomes a way, maybe to kind of lighten the load of some of that heavy stuff that we carry from time to time. And we're going to tell you right now, it is time for me to share with you Charlie Crimebuster's Crazy Crook of the Week. Now, my friend, I think many of us from time to time, maybe we posted things on social media that we have lived to regret, right? Yeah, sure. Sometimes it might result in a spat with relatives, and maybe you might even hurt a friend's feelings. But today we're going to talk about an Ohio man, not a Florida man, but an Ohio man. He, my friend, is facing serious consequences after, well, he did a Facebook post that landed him in handcuffs. Yep. Franklin County Sheriff Zach Scott talks to us about Dustin Ritters. He was 28 years of age. He actually posted a 12-second video on a personal Facebook page. No privacy settings. And that video, hang on to it, can't make it up. It was of him taking a swig of alcohol while behind the wheel of a car. You see, if you saw the video, he looks into the camera. There's music playing in the background. And, of course, he does his acting. He raises his eyebrows, takes a swig from a partially covered bottle. He doesn't speak. But as the video comes to an end, the camera is flipped around. Now get this, to show his hand with only one finger guiding the steering wheel. You can see that one finger driving the steering wheel as that wiper moves across that vehicle's windshield. So here, you not only have a drunk driver, you also have a distracted driver. Both very dangerous. In fact, there was one comment that said, "Dude, really?" Well, he turns around, now he talks. This crazy crook. He says, "I'm a good driver, don't worry." He goes on to comment, "I've got one finger on the steering wheel, Facebooking while it's raining. Sure, I'm good. I am a pro." Well, my friend, we need to remember that all the time this video is going for this crazy crook, this crazy crook, he's actually typing this all the time while he's driving. He's got his hands full, and now he's trying to drive. He's drinking. He's paying attention to his phone. I guess we're very fortunate, my friend, that this thing did not end in a tragedy. Well, if you're going to post on Facebook, people are going to see it. So a tipster saw it, warned the deputies that this guy was drinking and driving. Deputies, they tracked his car down, pulled him over near State Route 665 and Hibbs Road. Well, of course, he ended up in court, pled not guilty in Franklin County Municipal Court on 5 charges, including operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, drugs, and having an open container in the vehicle. And guess what? That Facebook post, that post that he made, well, now, my friend, that post is evidence. And Dustin, I think he's going to be dust when it comes to a verdict. And that, my friend, is Charlie Crimebuster's Crazy Crook of the Week. All right, my friend, now back to our main focus. Today we're going to talk to you about how to face the new year without fear. A little different approach on this episode. This is a special episode. An episode to our crime-loving people out there who love a crime story, but also to try to help you keep you and your family safe. So we're going to give you some tips. You might want to jot them down and try to be able to incorporate these tips into your life. You see, it'd be far better for us to be able to help you prevent being a victim of a crime. So we would like to do that. Why don't you help us do it? Pay attention. Put your ears on, as they used to say years ago when they had those CBs out there in vehicles. Number 1, learn to practice situational awareness. You hear this very often in crime prevention, and there's a reason you hear it very often, because it works. It's something that's very important. Become aware of your surroundings. Many times that means, hold on to it, it's going to hurt. Put the phone down. Yep, put the phone down. Know what is happening around you. Because, my friend, it's those people that are not focused. It's those people that are distracted that are so often the victims of a crime. Could be a petty crime, could be a serious crime, but usually they look at those people that are not paying attention. So always pay attention. And the second thing I want to say, and I've said this before, and you've probably heard it before, may not understand it, but you've heard it before. Learn to train the guardian angel within you. You see, my friend, inside us, God has made us with a way that we can protect ourselves. And it goes back to human mankind. You know, at first you had to protect yourself. You had to feed yourself. You had to protect yourself. You had to protect your family. And so within us, we are made with what is called a fight or flight method of handling things. Sometimes we want to get away, and sometimes it's good to get away. You sense danger, you get away. Sometimes you have to fight. But you never know how to do that and when to do that unless you train the guardian angel within you to kind of tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, man, it's time to get out of Dodge. Hey, man, it's time not to go there. No, don't go down that street. Don't go there. Or, hey, brace yourself. This guy's coming at you. So learn to train that guardian angel. Now, how do you do that? That's easy to say. Learn to train. How do I train the guardian angel within me? Well, the first thing you want to train your guardian angel is for the guardian angel to practice what I told you a moment ago, situational awareness. If you train your guardian angel to do this, this can happen subconsciously without you even knowing it. Hey, we've all done this. You got to really thinking about something really, really important or something that's really foremost on your mind and you're driving, and suddenly you look up and you're at the place you were going to and you don't even remember driving it. You don't remember stopping at the red light. You don't remember stopping at the stop sign. You don't remember turning down that street, but you did. You did all that in your subconscious. Your subconscious took over. Well, there is a way that you can train your guardian angel within you so that subconsciously your guardian angel can warn you. Subconsciously, your guardian angel can say, hey, there's danger. We do that all the time in law enforcement. When I was in law enforcement, and you hear it from the military folks, they'll tell you, it's called, many people call it your spidey senses, you know, after Spider-Man. Your spidey senses, spidey senses. You just sense something happening, you know. You sense it. And you can train your guardian angel to do that. Now, how do you do that? Easier said than done. Well, one thing is if you want your guardian angel within you, your subconscious, to be aware, you first have to be aware and practice that in your own mind and body. And the way to do that is just become more aware. Go into a restaurant. You're getting ready to order food. Maybe a smaller restaurant. You look around. You see what's around you. You say to yourself, I wonder how many males are in this room. I wonder how many females are in this room. How many children are in this room? You take the time to look and see, there's 8 males here and there's 10 females and there's three children here in this restaurant. It's just taking in what you're seeing. It's really looking at it. Try going a week that every person you meet, a cashier, every person you look at them and say to yourself, this person has blue eyes, this person has brown eyes. Try to look at people and think about, if I was to describe this person as a suspect to police, what would I say about this person? This person has long hair, short hair. This person has facial hair, does not have facial hair. This person is tall or short. How tall? How short? This person had a red sweater on. This person had blue jeans on. This person had white shorts on. This person had black tennis shoes. You know, try to practice that in your mind. Start doing that. Do that for, several weeks. Do that for several weeks. And then eventually it will become a part of your subconscious. You'll do it and you'll not even understand that you're doing it. It's a great way to train that guardian angel within you. Do that exercise. That is very important. If you do that for, say, 30 days, in your mind, start doing that. I mean, I'm not saying every moment, every day, but every week, try that sometime through the week. Say, today I'm going to be acutely aware of what's going on around me. Practice that over and over again. Then before you know it, your subconscious will do it. If you're riding with cops, sometimes, cops will ride together and you'll see it. You'll sense it. And if people on the crime programs that you're watching, if they really have a good expert that's advising you, you'll see it even then. Cops are always looking. They can be going down the road and talking to their partner and then turn around and say, hey, did you see that guy back there in that alley? Yeah, I saw that guy back in that alley. Because the whole time they were talking, even though they were talking about something totally different, they were also observing. They were subconsciously looking, on the look all the time. What doesn't look right here? What's happening here? What happened in that alley? What did I see there? Was that a drug buy going down? What was happening there? Is this guy getting ready to rob this store? Does something happening in that bank? You subconsciously do that. You don't even think about it. It just becomes a part of it. And I'm not saying all of you have to be cops about it, but there could be some of this that will one day save your life. So try to practice this over and over again of becoming aware of your surroundings. So number 1, situational awareness. Be aware. Number 2, train the guardian angel within you. Do these exercises. Number 3, build your security level. Now, we in the security business, and as a retired law enforcement officer, we know that there are levels of security. When we talked about Trump being shot, and we talked about the Secret Service, we talked about the perimeter. We talked about the level of security. You see, there is a level of security around you. It can be a hard target or it can be a soft target. So there should be a level of security around you personally. Number 1, there should be a level of security around your home. I mean, yeah. If somebody's going to rob you, somebody's going to break into your house. Mainly, they'll probably do it in the daytime if you've been gone today. But whatever it is, a person's going to look at the softest target to go to. So I've said to people all along, if you want to make your house safe, just make it harder to break into than any other house on the block. Then chances are they're going to break into somebody else's house rather than yours. Security systems can save you a whole lot of heartbreak. I would recommend security systems. I'd recommend cameras, because if you're going to break into a home and you look up and you see security cameras around that home in that house, not just the Ring doorbell, but also other cameras that you can see. My house has cameras, and people look and they see that camera in itself can become a deterrent. So, harden up that level of security around your home. Make sure you have good locks on your doors. Have a dog. That's a great security defense for you, to have a dog that'll bark anytime somebody comes to the door, have a security alarm. That all helps. Make sure your doors and windows are solid. Cut down the shrubbery around your house. Have it well lit. All these are just 101 security that can help save you from your home being broke into. Very important to do that. But not only build a security ring around your home, but also build that around your person as well. Your personal life. There are all kinds of things you can have. There is this wonderful, wonderful thing on your cell phone that you can alert people where you're going, from time to time. You can hit a button and get help there. There's a ton of phone apps for personal safety. I would recommend you just Google phone apps for personal safety, and you'll find all kinds of wonderful tools there to help keep you safe. Also around yourself, you may want to have mace. Mace is a great way to prevent crime. Have these strong whistles that go off. If somebody scares you, gets near you, put that whistle. And people don't like to stand around when there's a lot of noise calling attention to them. So build that security around you, if you are willing to learn how to handle a weapon, if you're willing to learn how to safely handle a weapon, then by all means become a concealed carry person. That will give you a level of security. There's all kinds of ways that you can help yourself in your own personal life. Have mace. Like I said, there's several things you can do. You can just look up personal safety things and find a ton of things around there. Hey, take the time to train your family to be safe too. In other words, tell your children, you just don't go open the door when somebody rings the doorbell, knocks on the door. You want to look out and see who's there first. You may or may not want to open the door, It's very important to do that, to train your family. Don't just answer the door and open it up for anybody. When you open the door, you're opening your door maybe to danger and not aware of it. It's no problem for you just to call out through your camera or to call out through the door, hey, I don't know you, go away. If you don't go away, I'm going to call the police, something like that. And by the way, the other thing I want to say, and this is really, really important, beware of strangers. Beware of people that you do not know. And I know that there is in the heart of a whole lot of people out there a heart that cares for other people. I understand that. But you got to be careful today, folks. I mean, even though you may want to do good, that person may want to do evil. Even though you may want to help that person may want to harm you. So you have to be very careful in that area. If you want to help the poor, if you want to help the homeless, then give money to shelters. Get some cards with shelter names on it and hand it out to people that come up to you. Don't engage these folks. I think one of the saddest cases that we covered, and we might go back into this again because I was thinking about that the other day, that's the Elizabeth Smart case. Here was a beautiful young lady, 14 years of age, beautiful young lady, younger than actually, and on June the 5th, 2002, this guy by the name of Brian Mitchell breaks into the home there in Utah, Salt Lake City, that breaks into the home and kidnaps this beautiful 14-year-old girl. She endured month after month, 9 months of brutality, continually raped. Thank God they found her. But guess what? The guy that did it after this nationwide manhunt, didn't even know who the person was. He had been a handyman who had worked for the Smarts. They had actually seen him while they were out and said, hey, we know you're down and out. We want to help you. Can you do work around the house? Yes, and they invited him to their home. While he was there, he saw Elizabeth. While he was there, he fixated on him. He had already been a child abuser. They didn't know that. They just thought that they were helping someone out. They had a good heart, but later they had a broken heart because of allowing this man into their home, into their family, and they set up the kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart. Don't do that, folks. Your children are more important. Your life is more important. Be careful about strangers. There are still ways you can help people without opening the door and opening yourself up to danger. And that brings me to probably the last thing I'm going to share with you. Don't put yourself in danger when you don't have to. If there is a high crime area, avoid going into those areas if you absolutely can. Don't go down there in the middle of the night into a high crime area. Don't put yourself there. If you don't put yourself there, then there's a good possibility that you're going to prevent something happening from you. Don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. I tell people all the time, road rage. It just amazes me. People today will participate in road rage. You don't know if that person has a weapon that you're mad at, that you're upset at, that you want to yell at, that you want to antagonize, that you want to escalate the situation. Instead of de-escalating it, you escalate it. And you say, well, boy, that's just the way I am. Well, that way that you are could cause you to get killed one day. That way that you are could cause your entire family to have harm. So just let me say to you, if you got to get it out, go home, get your punching bag, and just punch the hell out of them. Do anything you want to do in that area, but don't put your family, your husband, your wife, don't put your family in danger because of you having this sense to be heard about some road rage incident. It's just foolish to do it. All right, well, I guess I'm off my soapbox now. It is a different type of program, I know that, but I hope it's a helpful program. If it is, let us know. Reach out to me, charliecrimebuster@gmail.com, charliecrimebuster@gmail.com. We just wanted to share with you some tips in the new year, how to face the new year without fear. I hope that it's been helpful. Please let us know if it has been. We would love to hear from you. Again, reach out with that shout out, charliecrimebuster@gmail.com. And until this time next time, this is Charlie Crimebuster reminding you, be safe, be alert. For the life you save, it may be your very own.
You have been listening to Charlie Crimebuster. You can find additional podcasts at charliecrimebuster.com. You can also support our first responders, military, and law enforcement communities at peacemakernetwork.com. Or subscribe to our YouTube channel using tag @CharlieCrimebuster. Even visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/CharlieCrimebuster. Or if you would like to make suggestions for future podcasts, please send your ideas to charliecrimebuster@gmail.com. That's charliecrimebuster@gmail.com. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you will join us next week for another exciting crime story with Charlie Crimebuster.
If you want to feel more connected to humanity and a little less alone, listen to Beautiful Anonymous. Each week, I take a phone call from one random anonymous human being. There's over 400 episodes in our back catalog. You get to feel connected to all these different people all over the world. Recent episodes include one where a lady survived a murder attempt by her own son. But then the week before that, we just talked about Star Trek. It can be anything. It's unpredictable. It's raw. It's real. Get Beautiful Anonymous wherever you listen to podcasts.